So, well, Bob, you were shooting your new...
I shot a brand new gun for me today. This gun's been on the market quite a while. It's a Beretta PX4. The standard mag in this is a 17-round magazine, which is nice capacity. Our weapons are always clear. You might not always see us do it on camera, but they are. We check everything. It's a polymer frame. It's got that Beretta rotating barrel, which I think is just a really slick. I don't even know the best way to describe it, but
you're always more accurate with a barrel that doesn't move up and down. You know, it may rotate, but the position of it is, the trajectory is always flat.
It's very simple, but very innovative.
Yeah.
And the gun just feels great in your hand. It does come with interchangeable back straps, so my hand's pretty average size. Chris is a little larger than me, but you know, I grab hold of this and it just feels really good in the hand.
And it does feel good. The first time I grabbed a hold to it, it feels good. It has that. It's not that Glock feel, which I typically don't like the way a Glock points. That their aim point, it feels, just the angle feels very odd and off to me. This is more straight up, you know, 1911-ish, SIG-like. Just the standard Beretta feel. It has that.
I also own a Beretta 92. I own a Beretta 8000. Grabbing this is like grabbing any of my other guns, any of my other Berettas. It fits right in the palm of your hand. This is a polymer gun, so it's a little bit light on the bottom, a little bit heavy on the top. My 8000 is all metal. It's an alloy bottom, so it's got a little more weight to it. But this gun, you just grab it. It's right there. The sights come up real quick. I have a huge amount of rounds through this, so I'm still kind of learning the gun. And eventually, the more you shoot this thing, for me, I need 500 or 1,000 rounds through a gun before the muscle memory really starts to get just simply automatic. And I tend to be the type of person that I own several handguns, but I'll shoot one exclusively for a long time, and you just you get used to the feel of that gun, and it just feels good in your hand. And this gun feels good right off the bat, so I've been really happy with it. I kind of expected it to, because I shoot Berettas anyway, but it does shoot different than my FN. My FNX does shoot a little bit different. It feels a little bit different in the hand. It's a little bit bulkier in the grip. So I've been super pleased with this Beretta. I like the fact that it's made in the USA. Nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
Maryland, I could do without.
Yeah.
We could use maybe more Beretta in South Carolina. But the other thing I like about this, the lines on it, I think it's one of the best looking handguns on the market. You know, if you're a Glock person, there's no getting around the fact that they're just blocky and ugly. This, I mean, the cuts on the slide, the serrations on the slide, I mean, it's just a great looking handgun.
Yeah, the slide itself is very scalloped compared to the most polymer guns or most stainless steel slides. It has a lot of unique angles to it. It's
got a very nice trigger feel. Even in the first shot, when you go with the double action, the triggers are very smooth. It's heavy enough that you feel safe with it. You're never going to pull this trigger in double action by accident. And the single action trigger is real smooth, feels really good in your hand. I have really no complaints whatsoever with this weapon so far.
Can you decock this one, Bob?
It does have a decocker.
Okay.
Decocker safety, and I guess I do have one complaint. It would be the safety on it. That most guns, like a 1911, safety off is just thumb down. On this gun, safety on is thumb down, safety off is thumb up. So it's a little tough to get your thumb kind of underneath that safety, and it's got kind of a little.
The D10 is
D10 on it that's
stout.
Yeah, it's going to dig into you. So you're probably not going to carry it cocked and locked. You're probably going to decock it and then put the safety off and then holster.
Just run from double action.
Just run double action, no safety.
Which will be very similar to any striker fire pistol that you have that doesn't have a safety.
And my regular carry gun is a Sky CPX2, which is double action only, with no manual safety at all. So I'm used to running no manual safety anyway. So to run it hammer down with the safety off is not a big issue for me.
Yeah, that trigger travel you're used to, so that's not an issue.
I mean, it's a good, I'll bet it's a 7, 8, 9 pound trigger pull, and it's a long, the first one's a long trigger pull before you get that click. And that's a pretty quick reset, and then comes right back. So yeah, it's boy, it just, you know, everyone's hand is different, I get it, but for me personally, this just, it's right there. On my size hand, and maybe it's because I'm a Beretta guy, but it just feels good in the hand.
That's good. He is a Beretta guy, and I'm not a Beretta guy, but I do like it. The first time I have not shot it yet, and I don't know why. Just sometime during the day, you would have thought shooting today we would have shot it, or I would have shot it. But it does. It feels very good. Every handgun until, well, my carry is a 6-hour P938, which is the alloy frame, but it's so small, you know, polymer or alloy, you wouldn't notice the difference. But my range gun is the SIG 226, which is all metal. Until then, every handgun that I had was the polymer frame with the stainless slide, typical. And I always liked the lightness of those until I went to the SIG, and the SIG is just, I haven't had an issue with it. And I grant you, I think, including today, there have been 100 plus. So I'm right at about 650 rounds with it. I do like that metal frame a lot better than the polymer. However, in me not being a Beretta guy, just the way that this polymer feels, and I guess it's just the way that it points. You don't have that FN slant, and you don't have that dramatic Glock slant.
Mm-hmm.
I was not a fan of the way it looked when it's sitting on the shelf, but when you hold it in your hand, I could own this gun, and I'm not a Beretta guy. It looks nice, and it feels incredible. Everything fits, it's right. I guess, what's the big thing nowadays, besides trigger pull, is to make sure your bore axis is low enough and the slide is going right back, right across the top of I guess the crest or the detent between your forefinger and your thumb. You know, the SIG is a lot higher, but the recoil is not any different. I haven't seen any difference in them. But this one, you can actually, it feels like that bore axis is lower. Mm-hmm.
Now I have the Beretta 92, and that's an all metal gun. Mm. And while the feel in the hand is similar, the weight of the gun is completely different. I mean, you pick that gun up, and that is we're going to battle kind of feel in your hand. I mean, it's a
hammer,
36 ounce gun or something. You know, and you put a full magazine in that gun, and you know, you've got a 2.5 pound piece of metal in your hand.
Battle axe.
Now the shape to this is pretty similar. It feels pretty good in hand, but you know, you're dropping a few ounces, and you're dropping a few ounces off kind of the bottom half of the gun, because the top is still all metal. You've still, you know, still blowback, so you're still getting the same weight up top. But it does have a really nice axis, and I haven't had any real. I haven't had to focus on, you know, keeping that pointed forward, because there's not a lot of extra tilt to it as it comes back. We've been talking a little bit. We've both been talking about maybe trading in our FNs for something a little different, and sometimes you're ready for the next thing.
Yes, like, and FN is a great weapon. I have no issues with it.
But sometimes you're just ready for something different.
Yeah.
And this gun, I really, really am excited about it. The FN, I always liked shooting it. I still like shooting it, but it
was not exciting.
It's almost like, you know, they say it ties like kissing your sister.
Yeah.
That's the FN.
Yes.
It's comfortable in your hand. It shoots great. You know, it's got a big blocky slide. It polymer bottom. There's nothing.
And if you're in South
exciting about it.
Carolina, they are made in Columbia. No, our governor likes FN. She has shot down at FN.
You avoid some of the federal regulations because there is no interstate commerce.
Yeah.
So the federal government can never step in and say, hand me your FN.
Sure.
But this gun, I'm excited about it. Pulling out of the holster, I feel like I've got a new toy. I've got something new and exciting. And I don't think I'm going to get tired of shooting this for a pretty long time.